It is Thanksgiving Day as you're watching this. What I'm going to be doing for the next 5 days, I think it's 5 days, from now until Cyber Monday, I'm going to be your no-buy buddy. You and I are going to do our makeup together every day just to keep each other in check as we head through this highly consumeristic weekend. What I'm going to ask of you, if you want to participate in this little thing, I would love for you to do your makeup with me. You don't have to do your makeup like me, but the whole purpose of this is to get your mind off of shopping and to help you feel a little bit more creative in your everyday makeup routine. I used to spend so much money on makeup that it would put me into debt. And the work that I do on this channel, I try to help myself and help you be very discerning before we make a purchase of makeup. And some of you might save your money for Black Friday weekend to do all of your makeup shopping. Some of you might have some items that are going to go on sale this weekend that you intend on buying. So this is also a safe space for you. It's a safe space for people who don't want to buy anything. If you are planning to make a purchase or some purchases, don't do anything excessive. Follow all the rules that you normally follow for sales. Come back here after you made your purchases, because what we're going to do is just play with stuff that we already have. I meant to come up with like a cute name for these 5 days. I didn't, but I thought in this first episode, I would do a reinterpretation of the very first look I ever did on my channel. So I've technically been on YouTube since 2017, but more recently, in the past 3 years is when I've been really dedicating a lot of my time to YouTube. And the very first video on my channel, it's still up, you can go watch it, is I did galaxy eyes. A lot has changed. Obviously, I'm 7 years older and a much more skilled makeup artist. I don't know what I thought I was doing trying to be out here telling you how to do your makeup, because I could barely do my own makeup. So I have a bunch of stuff in front of me that we can play with. I think I'm going to do a more intense look than I usually do. We're going to be a little artistic today. So I hope you'll join me. If you do a galaxy eye inspired look, whether it's as intense as mine or, you put some holographic sparkles on your eyelids and you wore it to work, I would love to see it. If you're on Instagram, post your look and tag me, because I would love to see your galaxy eyes. Okay, we're cracking open a cold mini Coke. My Aldi has been out of the Summit Cola, which is just inexpensive, and that's why I buy it. I just like to have a soda, like a little soda a day. I used to like drink soda instead of water, but I'm better than that now. But they didn't even have like the regular 12 packs of Diet Coke, so I had to settle for the mini. It's just not the same. Holding it, drinking it, it gets warm so fast. I hate it. Beggars can't be choosers, I guess, whenever you're addicted to caffeine. Okay, so we'll start with my eyes today because I do want to do something a little more intense. We're going to do a very drag-inspired eye. So every time I do a drag-inspired eye, people are like, I love that you did eyebrows. I'm not doing eyebrows. I'll explain in a second, but we're going to start with some black eyeliner. And I also will prime my eyes with the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base. So the natural crease of my eye is like right here. If we were playing with the actual shape of my eye, which I almost never do, it's why I shave my eyebrows off, I don't have a lot of lid space to play with. And if I have eyebrows, my brow bone's pretty heavy and my brow sits pretty low. I just don't like having eyebrows. And whenever I want to do artistic looks like this, not having them really comes in handy because I can literally do whatever I want. Basically, what will happen is you're going to see a line that comes over kind of very close to where my eyebrow would be. And a lot of people are like, oh, I love that you drew eyebrows on. It's not an eyebrow. It's just I'm creating a new crease, like the illusion of a crease. And it's not really that important. Every time I do a look, and people are like, oh, you did. That's not it. But that's not what I did. I'm going to start with the NARS Smudge Proof eyeshadow base all over the lids because we are obviously going to play with eyeshadow as well. I pulled out my indie shadows. So I will be like telling you what I'm using today, but I would also encourage you to not feel so compelled as to need any of these products. If you see something and like it becomes something that, you might want, but like I'm not trying to like sell these items to you. It's not about really the performance of these items. It's more about just putting on makeup and having fun putting on makeup. I said this in another video, and then Kelly Gooch did like a whole video on it as well. The most fun part of makeup, in my opinion, should be the application process. Like, I think that's where we should find our joy in it, not buying new makeup products. Of course, I say that as someone who is a YouTuber who does do makeup reviews occasionally. I'm coming at it from that angle. If you're just a regular consumer, you don't need to have 70 million things. You just need to have like the things that work for you. The process of putting it on should be the most exciting part, not shopping at Sephora, which I love shopping at Sephora. I love shopping at Ulta. I love shopping. My love of makeup is first and foremost the application process. That's how I really got into it. We're going to do like a big wing. I'm going to relax my eye and I'm just going to do a little of that, and I'm going to bring it back I'm gonna go up and over. So, like, the one fun thing about doing, like, big eye looks is, one, it doesn't matter if they're that symmetrical. This is close enough, and I don't even think it's that symmetrical, but you also learn how asymmetrical your face is, and, like, some people are gonna be more blessed in that category than other people. The thing about my face and my eyes is once I start doing bigger looks, on this side of my face, there's less distance between the end of my eye to where the, like, curve of my face starts going backward, and then on this side, there's more space between that my eye and to where it starts to curve. So when I do these like big winged looks, it's really hard to figure out like how far back the wing should go on either side. Maybe like this side's like a little more round, but like I'm pleased with where we're at. So I'm gonna get some black eyeshadow. I'm gonna be using the Hindash black eyeshadow. It's the shade Fatum down here. And I'm just gonna be using that to like fill in some of the liner. I'm like not the most gifted with gel liner. I really kind of like it to get black started and create structure for it. So what I'm gonna be doing is I'm gonna like really smoke out the edges on the inside here and give it a better blend. I'm gonna blend this as well because we might do a little bit of a gray blend on the top portion of this new crease. You see how it just like created a little bit of a blend, because the ultimate goal here is what we're gonna be doing is like a lot of the most of all the sparkle is gonna be on the lid portion, and then I just kind of want a little bit of a gradient going out from there. When I used to do all of these like more intense looks, I didn't know how good I had it when it came to not having to. Not that I really feel like this is a tutorial, but like even really try to like talk you through it. But you know what I do want to say, since this is going live on Thanksgiving Day, I hope that I can be, just a person for you to hang out with, whether I can be, an escape from your family. I know that Thanksgiving isn't fun sometimes, even if you're spending it with your family. You might not like your family that much. You might feel obligated, or you could be just sitting here with me on my channel today for the opposite reason, that maybe you just have no family to go see. I'll be your family today. We're just gonna hang out and do our makeup. You can put me on while you eat dinner, and if you don't want to do your makeup today, and then we can just hang out. Whatever you need. I will be your escape. I will be your friend today. We're just sitting here together for a little bit of time, because I also feel I know that lonely feeling. I'm on good terms with my family. I like them, but I also, and I've said this before, I do find that the obligation of Thanksgiving, it does feel like a burden to me. And it's not because I don't love my family. I do spend more time with my chosen family than my like blood family, my bloodline. The thing of being queer is like, even if your family loves you and tries to understand you, it's never gonna click. Like oftentimes it just like doesn't click the same as like, when you spend time with other queer people who just get it. So I get it. I get this feeling of wanting to feel normal on Thanksgiving, even though your situation might be the fact that you are spending Thanksgiving alone or feeling alone because it's Thanksgiving, even if you're going to spend it with your family or, other friends. A true galaxy eye would probably have like black all over it and we would just put sparkles on top of it. But we can put some sparkles on this blended black to get that effect. But I always think of like holographic, just kind of like bright sparkles when it comes to like a galaxy eye. And galaxy eye feels like so dated. Like I'm thinking of like those galaxy leggings that were really popular on Tumblr. If you were a Tumblr girly or a Tumblr gay, they were such like, I don't know. I had a pair of galaxy print Toms, which is also like so Tumblr era. They were a gift from a friend. It's just like, it's so funny to think about that now. I'm going in with a little bit of gray and I'm just gonna like kind of like blend that out just like along the top part of this outside and just a little bit on top of the crease here. Because I don't know that I want like an entirely harsh edge. I want it to feel a little more blendy. Every year at dinner for Thanksgiving, we say grace, but before we say grace, we go around and say what we're thankful for. I said the same thing like for the past 5 years, and I kind of say just my youth and beauty. And not that I don't feel young still, I might just be going my beauty. This year, I don't know, I might just say youth and beauty again. And I always say that just because it's like, I don't know, it's like you go around and like being earnest in that kind of moment is a good thing ultimately, I think. But like everyone else is going to say, my family, blah, blah. I just thought of the one person that I don't want to see. I mean, he's going to be there, but I'm not going to enjoy seeing him on Thanksgiving because last year he said, I'm thankful for Zoe still being around. And Zoe is my parents' dog and she's been like a little bit unwell for the past couple of years, which is like, yeah, I'm thankful that Zoe's here too, but it just kind of made everyone feel bad. I hate that. And that's another thing that happens when you can be earnest. You can be earnest and it doesn't feel good. All right, I think we're now at the point where we can start doing sparkle. I think for the base of my sparkle, I'm going to start with this. This is the glitter pill in microcosm from Half Magic. And I think what I want to remember to do here is kind of be careful because I'm going to be also layering sparkle on top of this. I might have done this in my original Galaxy Eyes video, like my first video, because one of the employees at Sephora was showing me sparkles and I bought the Urban Decay glitter liner and I also bought the Moon Dust eyeshadow in the same shade. I think it was the shade Cosmic. The person from Sephora showed me that if you use the glitter liner kind of just like as a base for glitter, it's like, it does things. And I'm going to kind of do that. I'm not going to be in a rush to like stick the other glitter on, but I actually want this to be kind of just dispersed glitter. I don't want it to be close enough that it looks like a base, but this will not be the only sparkle we'll do. I wonder what 2017 me would think about where we're at on YouTube now and who I am as a person. Recently on Instagram, there's been this like thing people have been sharing on their stories where it's like you in 2014 versus you now. And like those always kind of like bum me out. It's not because I'm like ashamed of like what I looked like or who I was 10 years ago, but like that just doesn't even, it's like, it's just simply not me. The 2014 version of me, I think would be really jarred by the fact that I came out as non-binary. And I don't think that version of me would like that very much. But I think also, I think if I knew then that my journey on YouTube would be so unique and it would actually take off, but like not in the way that I expected it to. I really wanted to be like the 2016 era of BeautyTuber back then. And I think it's really good that like I didn't stick with it at that time, but also like I'm glad that like whatever I was doing in the time where I was here at that time, if that makes sense, like I'm glad that never worked because this feels like the work I'm supposed to be doing. And who knows if I would have ever gotten to the point where I would have realized my consumption needed to be rethought. Because if I would have become an incredibly successful YouTuber 10 years ago or, in the 2016 era, 2017 era, I would have made a lot of money and then had the means and to get more makeup You know? Does that make sense? Where, and it wouldn't be like, I wouldn't have learned anything. My time away from YouTube taught me like many things. And one of them was like, I do not need this much makeup, and neither choose anyone. I mean, if that's the journey you want to go on, no judgment from me if you have a different journey than I do with makeup. So I want to take some of these Cleona glitters, or I think they're Cleona iridescents. I don't feel like taking them out of this palette to read the back to you. So I'll be using, and I'll also be using some of Riley's and Shine by SD's that collab. I just really want to do like a lot of layers of glitter and different colors of the different glitters. I think it'll be really pretty and give us something very interesting to look at. So I'm just kind of gently picking up some. I don't want it to be fully opaque for any shade. And hopefully, my running theory on trying to do this is that all of the sparkles will hopefully shine through the other sparkles. But we'll see. Just even sweeping this one on, I feel like I've lost some of the base eyeliner holographic sparkles, and perhaps I should have finished with those, but you live and you learn. Layering them wasn't really super working, so I just kind of found a placement for like the green one and then the blue one and then the pinkish one, and I'm just kind of like blending them together. But yeah, I think I'm getting a little bit of all of them coming through. I know I don't have you zoomed into my eyes today, but we'll zoom in maybe later and I'll give you a good look. We got a pretty good oil slick looking thing happening on my eyes. I'm going to take Victoria Beckham's black eyeliner. I'm going to put it in my waterline and tightline with it. Do any of your families have weird Thanksgiving traditions? My family fries a turkey every year. Do you like remember how like probably around 10 years ago, maybe 15 years ago, it all of a sudden got really popular to like fry your turkeys, and then everyone was making their houses blow up? Yeah, we started doing fried turkeys at that time as well. For some reason, I think because the first time we did it, we weren't sure if it would explode. I also want to emphasize that my father and my mother are both very intelligent people, so the likelihood of us having the turkey explode was very small. But for some reason, the frying of the turkey is like the call time of like when to show up for Thanksgiving. Obviously, we're not eating at that time, but if you want to see or be part of and participate in the turkey being dropped into the oil, that is like something he can do. Like that's, I don't know. I'm just taking some medical grade tape and cleaning up some of the glitter. This is why I did my eyes first, because I knew I was going to be using a lot of sparkle. I think this is pretty good for the eyes. Let me zoom you in. So you see how we have like just all the sparkles happening. I understand why people are like, I can't believe you drew on eyebrows, because it does make my, you can see it, you can bounce with it. Bounce, biggity bounce, biggity, biggity bounce, bounce. Let's move on to complexion. I want my complexion to actually be rather matte, and I want the eyes to really be the star of the show. And I'm kind of doing this in a Tom honoring way, because like back then I was wearing all matte everything, and I wouldn't have really been wearing creams or anything like that, because that wasn't what was popular at the time. And now I'm much less likely to follow a makeup trend unless I find that it benefits me. So like I'm much more into creams now. So for my primer, I'm going to be using the Merit Great Skin Priming Moisturizer. This gives a nice soft matte starting point, and basically everything I'm using from here on out will have just a soft matte or a skin finish. I haven't figured out what blush I would like to wear at this point, but the funny thing is, back then in that video, I bet I don't even put blush on. I bet it's just contour and highlight. And blush wasn't as popular at that era, but like all my pictures from that time, I look so unfinished to me now, because I mean, you can do your makeup however you want. So if you only do contour and highlight, great, love that. I feel as though I have a face that can take a lot of makeup, and I just like wasn't giving it to my face. Like I was just like, why does my face look so barren? And they're like, but okay. Let's put it this way. So you know how like I do so much with my complexion now, and it's like 5 powders, this, and this. I really think it's just because like my face and my skin can like handle that kind of coverage and that kind of like my skin can handle that much makeup without making it feel like I look like I'm wearing a lot of makeup or that a lot of makeup was involved in the process of doing it. Old pictures of me, I'd be wearing like a full coverage foundation, so I would lose all dimension to my face, and then I would be wearing contour, no bronzer, because we were all about the contour. I may have had a bronzer. It depends on it whether or not I had visited Chicago at that point. I might have had the bronzer from Burberry back then. But that bronzer, I also feel like I went so light-handed on it for the longest time because I was just like, what is bronzer? What is bronzer supposed to look like? And then I got to this place where I really like bronzer, and it wasn't like not like I slung completely in the other direction, but it's just like I have a greater appreciation for bronzer. When I like really started this channel, I feel like I only really had like 2 individual bronzers. I feel like I had the one from Burberry, and I think I had the one from Tom Ford whenever like I started my no buy 6 months. Isn't that funny to think about? So I wouldn't be really wearing bronzer. I would just like be contoured, but I was using the KVD contour. I'm gonna be using the Prada foundation. I was using the KVD contour, which as I like learned later, when I started really understanding what I was looking for in makeup, I feel like it took me even much longer than the no by 6 months to really understand my preferences. I feel like it's just like I know so much more now. It took me a really long time to figure out that the KVD contour palette, well, one, I didn't need the whole palette and no one did. And they sold it to us like we would use all 3 of those contour shades, which I think some people did. And maybe if you were a pro makeup artist, use them. The lightest contour was a bronzer. It was pretty warm. I've gone on this whole like contour journey and like trying to find things that I think work for me as contour. That was absolutely just a bronzer. And did any of you actually use the light shades in the Shade and Light palette? I like never ever use the light shades. And then I did get to the point with the Shade and Light palette where I was just buying the refill of the darkest shade. And I didn't even have the version of the palette that was refillable. I just bought the refills and I put it in a magnetic palette after a certain point. And then I just found things that contoured better. So it was probably more like contour, but like maybe more like a bronzer look. This would be like where I would contour. I contour higher now. And that's just it. That's for like the illusion. And I would also like bring my contour like almost to the side of my mouth. And now my contour is like much farther back here. Like it's further back and higher just to like add lift. You can like add some dimension into like facial hair. It's like just not as successful when you do that. It's just like it's you can do it, but it's like the difference is so subtle. All right, we're now at the point where I'm gonna contour. So I'm gonna use Intuition from Ritual de Fille. What if you, and I'm gonna I just posted a video today and someone was like, why didn't you put your bronzer in here? Because I don't wear the same bronzer every day. I mostly use the same powders and the same, like this is all the stuff that I use every time I do my makeup. That's what I think a face palette should be. And I think the closest thing to it that exists is probably the Hourglass palette. Genuinely, I think that those would be the closest thing because they do have bronzer, blush, and then they also have those finishing powders, which a lot of people use as setting powders. The mess of this vanity already, and the mess I'm gonna have to clean up later. Not looking forward to it if I'm being frank. So yeah, I mostly just contour like right here. So it's kind of like where my beard meets where I shade, like where it meets. It's kind of where like the beard stops. Kind of put my brush kind of like halfway on there. There's like a couple different like ways to contour that people use. Like some people like will contour like that part. But when I would do that, it just, yeah, like if I don't know, I just like contouring higher. I also used to like try to like cut my cheek. I would have like that streak of brown go into my cheek. And I still apply product there, but like much later. But I still feel like even when I was in the early days of me rebooting my channel, I remember even like editing some of those videos and being like, you can just see the line of your contour on your jaw. Cool. So cool. For blush, I'm going to be using the Charlotte Tilbury Pillow Talk blush wand in the shade Pillow Talk. This is the matte blush wand. I don't know what my aversion to blush was back then. If I had to guess, well, one, blush wasn't trending at the time. I probably thought blush would make my full face of makeup too girly. I don't know what video of Cam's it was. Cam is also known as Clove Room here on YouTube. And they just passed 1,000 subscribers and now they're already at 1,100 subscribers. I'm so happy for them. Oh, I'm so happy. So many great, everyone's channels are like growing right now because it is the season. Like this is the time of year where people's channels grow. But Steph, my friend Steph, the style stumbler, she did a heatless curling for her hair video, and it got over 100,000 views. I like saw that she had hit 5,000 subscribers, and she like I think she just passed 3,000 subscribers like not that long ago. And I was like, what happened? Well, what happened is one of her videos freaking took off. I put so much blush on this side. I'm gonna try to go try to even that out. Cam in a video, and I don't know which videos of theirs it was, and I think it was before their little hiatus that they took. They had talked about the makeup that they did before they were really comfortable in their gender identity. And they were talking about like the colors that they would wear to like not appear girly. But it's like funny because we were like doing makeup, which is something viewed as feminine, but we don't have to view it as feminine. Anyone can do makeup. This space is for anyone who wants to wear makeup, whether you're, trans masked or whatever, everyone can do makeup. I think that sometimes we forget that part of the conversation, but whenever you're getting into makeup, there's just like a more masculine way you think about it. And I think I probably thought that blush was too girly. For highlighter today, we're going to do some highlight layering. For the base highlight, I'm going to use Moon Pillar from Ritual Defeat. I wonder if in that video I have Lunaris. If someone watches that original video and comes back, let me know if I did. I like literally can't look at it. I feel like I've watched it since before, but I'm feeling a little touchy. But I might have had the Ritual Defeat shade Lunaris at that time, which is like a very similar. I mean, I don't know. That one was, I think, a little more blue. I find this one a little more wearable, but I'm really putting it on. We're wearing a lot of makeup today. And then we're going to top that with, from Ritual Defeat, the Alchemist, which is something that I don't wear a ton anymore, but I think is going to be perfect for this. Gorgeous, stunning. I'm gonna powder with the Givenchy powder. I'm really not powdering my cheeks too much because there's so much cream glossy stuff happening, and then basically if my powder brushes touch the glossy stuff, then they will get gunky, and I'm not really interested in that narrative today. I actually might forego bronzer and add a little bit of this Hindash monochromance and use this up here. Someone in passing in one of my videos said at one time, they were like, you should try using that as a contour. And I was like, heard. I don't really powder contour too often, but when I do, it is this one. And it's all because someone commented on one of my videos once. I might only do it on my cheeks, so I'm probably not going to add much more. Chisel out my jaw, maybe a little back here. You know what? I really thank God that I never got into like putting on false lashes, because I have a feeling if I gotten into that at that time, that surely would have been a habit that would have fallen off at this point in my makeup career because of just sheer laziness. So I'm just going to apply this. I have a feeling that actually my eye look is like not far off from what I did in that original video. And perhaps I haven't shown any increase in skill. Maybe my base makeup, but maybe not my eye makeup. I'm looking at it. I'm like, not my best eye look. And then I just need to put on a lip. I wonder what lipstick I used. That's crazy. I actually have no idea what lipstick I would have used back then. I mean, I wouldn't have it still to this day. Last year at some point I did a video of like my oldest makeup in my collection. And I feel like even when I did it then, I didn't have a ton of stuff from like that era of my makeup. I found months ago, I found a picture of my vanity with all the makeup on it, because I used to not have drawers for my vanity. Like the choices, just what I had on my vanity was like so crazy. There's so many things I'm like, why would I even buy that? I still feel like I'm not super into lipstick. I definitely feel like I have stronger preferences now when it comes to lipstick as far as like what I'm willing to wear. When back then I feel like I would wear whatever as long as I was getting the color I wanted. I'm wondering if it was like a NYX lip suede. And then I think I'm gonna tap a little bit of, I don't know, whatever this Cleona shade I just grabbed. And then I'm gonna top it with a clear gloss. This is my first time trying the Huda gloss. Andromeda sent it over to me. It was a crazy smell to it. Here's my 2024 interpretation of Galaxy Eyes. 2016, 2017 me could never. Or perhaps I could, and maybe I would. maybe, maybe better. Oh, hold on. Let's do sparkle cam, because why not? Because why not? We're here. Oh, the sparkle. Even on the cheek. Ooh, hit him. Hit him with the sparkle. Hit him with the sparkle. Let's do a little blur. A little blur. Ooh. Oh. Look. Oh, I'm in the galaxy. Oh, the galaxy. Oh. That's the end of this video. Thank you so much for spending some time with me today. I hope I was able to be there for you in whatever capacity you needed me to be here. If you are new to my channel, I would love to have you subscribe. This is what a lot of the work I do on my channel is trying to basically understand our relationship with makeup and consumption a little bit better through the, guise of a makeup channel. Like, I do makeup reviews, I do buy things to review. I try to be very realistic, as well as I navigate the beauty space. Stick around if you'd like. If not, thank you for hanging out with me today. I'm on Patreon and I have channel memberships. You can check those linked down below. I do an additional video over there every month. Every level of patronage gets the same thing. But if you don't want to join my Patreon or you don't have the funds to join my Patreon, I'm just so happy that you are here. In the pinned comment, I have a link to help families in Gaza. If you have the means to help them, please help them. Now it's going to wrap up the video. Thank you so much for watching. Remember to follow your host and you'll find me. And I'll see you in the video very soon. Go forth. Tits out.